San Francisco 49ers continue to do things to have a successful off season. Man, they be hitting us out of the woodworks with things. And we're going to talk about the new addition to the 49ers, Bryce Huff, and this pass rush. Stick around right here on the Wayne Breezie Show. Smash that like button. Let's get this joint crack-a-lacking. Wake up, everybody. What's going on, 49er faithful? It's your boy, the Wayne Breezie, and we are live and kicking right here on the Wayne Breezie Show. We're going to have some fun today because we get to talk 49er football. They continue to impress me. I don't know about you, but they continue to impress me. They've been just making all kinds of moves from just the signings, the coaching, the front office additions, trades out of nowhere. I'm loving everything that I'm seeing from the San Francisco 49ers, and I can't wait till September when we get to watch the players play. I think that, everything is leading up, gearing up to that moment to where we could watch what they're going to be able to produce out there week one of the NFL. The 2025 season. So, guys, thank y'all so much for tuning in. Truly appreciate it. Make sure you guys smash that like button, especially if you're new to the stream. Go ahead and smash the like, all right? And if you're new, subscribe to the channel. It doesn't hurt you or whatever or whatnot. Right here, just subscribe to the channel. Shout out to everybody watching on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, X. Don't know what else to call it, but it's Twitter to me. But appreciate you guys on the live feed. Definitely can't wait to see what you guys have to say about what's going on with the Niners on today. Can't wait to get into that comment section. It's going to be fun. But guys, don't forget to smash that like button. It's super important. Also, if you want to support the stream, support the channel, all right, all you got to do is click on join right here on the YouTube. Click join. You can become a member of the Breezy Bunch crew where you get those air horns. And speaking of that, you get the early morning shout-outs. Boats is in the building. Don't Bother Me in the building. Jax Knox is definitely in the building. Hello, Wayne and Faithful. Hope everyone's Monday is going well. I see a question already from my man, Don't Bother Me, so I'm next sure I'm going to get to that first after I do the shout-outs. Eddie G and the B-Dogs, what's going on, brother? How you doing? 49er Jeff, good morning to you as well. You know what I'm saying? I like your statement. I'll make sure I comment that as well. Vince, what's good, baby? JP Hella Hard, my brother from another mother. What's going on, man? Colin is in the building from across seas. Eddie G's been here for 27 months, and being that he gets a round of applause, we got to give him the round of applause right there for that. 27 months, man. That's 2 years plus. That's 2 years plus. Appreciate that. You know what I'm saying? Appreciate that. Is it football season yet? Yeah. For me, it's been football season when our season ended. I was ready for them to start making moves. Tanisha, what's going on, sis? Appreciate you for joining the live feed. You know what I'm saying? Appreciate you. 49ers throwbacks definitely in the building. Says, hope you had a great weekend. I had a busy working weekend, man. Listen, it's wedding season for me. So Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays, nonstop driving, singing. I don't even know how I have a voice. I got to learn how to definitely make sure that I have a voice to do these shows, because it gets a little rough. You know what I'm saying? It gets a little rough. All right? So listen, appreciate you guys. Now, I said I was going to start the show off. I saw a question from my brother, Don't Bother Me. He says, so currently, what are the predictions for the season, division predictions? He was probably asking the chat, but I saw the question. So, right now, I feel like the 49ers are relatively healthy. And so I'm going off of that, regardless of the procedure to Jair Brown, the little injuries, the little nagging injuries we have to some of our football players. I don't feel like there's any major injuries that are going to cause a major impact to the team. So I think I have us going 4-2 in the division. I remember doing it with Mike. I think I got us going 4. Is that right? I think it was 4-2. I could be wrong. Can't remember. I know I had us beating. Yeah, 4-2. We lose 2 times. I think we lose to the same team twice. I think I had us losing to Seattle twice, and y'all got mad at me. But at least we sweep the Rams and the Cardinals, you know? So I don't know. But I think we lose two games. I could have my games wrong. I want us to go 6-0, but I'm just looking at it realistically. The first game in Seattle is relatively early in the season. We should be good to go, but we are traveling out there. And I think the next game, I don't think it really matters at that point. I think it's like late in the season. I think that's what it was. I think that's one of those games where we're already up. You know what I mean? So I got 4-2. We'll be 4-1 at that point. I think we lose that game. I don't necessarily feel like we should lose to Seattle twice, but that's just kind of like where I am with it. So my my bad. But what are y'all predictions out there? I see he's putting in there. We got a super chat. We'll definitely get to that. Mike says 4-2, but one to Seattle, one to LA. I like that. I should have did that. But that last game of the season sucked. Maybe that's the one you have us losing to Seattle because it's the last game of the season. I actually have us losing that one on the road early in the season, which is good because I want the 49ers. Obviously, I want us to win every game. But I want the 49ers to be humbled at all times. Like, I don't want them taking anything sweet. You know what I'm saying? Like, go out there, work hard, play hard, find ways to win. You know what I'm saying? Take care of the teams you're supposed to take care of. I think the NFC West may be, in my opinion, the toughest division this year. I think it's going to be tough. The NFC West, I think every team got better, you know, and it's going to be tough. JP Hellahard says 5-1. I love it. I would love to know who your loss is. Jax Knox says 6-0. I don't have to ask her who her loss is because she said 6-0. That's undefeated, undefeated. I hope I never. Let me ask y'all this question. Would you rather, and don't say none, you got to pick one. Would you rather lose to the Rams or the Seahawks? Would you rather lose to the Rams or the Seahawks? I'm just asking for a personal preference. For me, I'd rather lose to the Seahawks because they kind of like got a new regime, right? They're not the same Seattle Seahawks under the Pete Carroll tutelage. So that's my thing, So let me know what you guys think. Would you rather lose to the Rams or the Seahawks if you had to lose to one of the NFC West opponents, right? Like, you know what I'm saying? I don't ever see us losing to the Cardinals. That better never happen again. We literally drafted to not be ran on by James Conner. So I'm not working. I'm not worried about that. You know what I mean? Definitely not working about that. Worried about that. Jax Knox with the super chat contribution says, just because you guys rock. I appreciate that, Jax. Thank you for the super chat contribution. In the offseason, they hard to come by in the offseason for sure. Not really much 49ers stuff going on, but I definitely appreciate that. A lot of people saying the Seahawks. Wow, really? I don't want to lose to the Rams. I don't want to lose to Sean McVay. I think that's what it is for me. I don't want to lose to Sean McVay. Seattle, they have history. Rams fans are lame. Listen, I'm just going off of the coaching standpoint. If Pete Carroll was still with Seattle, I never would want to lose to Seattle again. But they're a different regime. They're a different team. And you know what? Sam Darnold, the 49ers better not. Let me repeat these words. They bet not let Sam Darnold beat them twice. They bet not. They bet not let Sam Darnold beat them twice, all right? My man Vince in the building says, don't think we'll be lucky enough to have Ayuk paid, Pearsall on a first-round contract, George Kittle paid, CMC paid, and also Juwan Jennings. He'll get a bag and free agency. So someone in the chat asked about, I think it was my man Joe, said that we need to extend. Now, he didn't ask. He said, let's extend Juwan Jennings. And so this is Vince, kind of like replying to that. It's a possibility that they can. I do think that the 49ers will offer an extension. I do. I think they'll offer an extension. I just don't think it'll be what not Brandon Ayuk, what Juwan Jennings probably deserves, because I think Jennings in this contract year is going to ball out. You know what I'm saying? I think he's going to ball the freak out, all right? Now, don't forget to check out the podcast on Apple Podcasts as well as Spotify Podcast, man. You know what I'm saying? And check out our sponsors over at Residency. Use that promo code SFBreezy. Go to www.residency.com, and you can save on your total purchase, and they currently have a sale going on right now, all right? They currently have a sale going on right now. Let's get to the daggone show for sure, man. I got a whole show planned, in the offseason. Let's talk about some of the 49ers news. The 49ers just freed up $5.6 million in cap space thanks to the post-June 1st cuts, all right? So if you guys remember, there's a couple of players like Malik Collins, I believe Javon Hargrave, all that money, they got released earlier, but they were going to be set to be released post-June 1st, which would free up some money for the San Francisco 49ers, which is interesting because $5.6 million can look, you look at that money, you're like, well, what are we going to do with it? Well, it makes perfect sense. They made a trade. They gave up a mid-round pick. They're on the books this year for $7.95 million, and we'll look at it, right? And Bryce Huff in the trade. And so 7.95 minus 5.6. You mean to tell me the Niners got a premier pass rushing defensive end for a mid-round pick, mid-whatever round pick? I'm thinking fourth round. I think that's what Adam Schefter kind of alluded to. Is going to be a day 3 thing, so I'm thinking fourth round pick, maybe one of the third round compensatory picks. I don't know, but you got him for $2 million. That's the Niners are winning. They continue to win. Round of applause. We'll look at that. Like, we're gonna look at Bryce Huff's contract. We're gonna try to have some fun with that. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's a win-win for me, man. Like, you traded for a guy. First of all, they got Philly agreed to pay $9-something million of that contract, right? And so now he's going to get his $17 million, but the Niners are on the books for about almost $8 million of the contract. I think he has a $250. You know what? Let's just go ahead and look at it. I don't even know why I'm sitting here trying to tell you guys, and I can just share it with you guys what he's going to be getting. All right. So you look at this Bryce Huff deal. All right, 2025. $7.7 million is going to be the base salary that the Niners are on the books for, plus the workout bonus. So once he gets in there, training camp hits, he'll get that $250,000 workout bonus divided by every week. I guess that's how it works. For his working out, practicing, and stuff like that. So you divide that by the weeks, and then you can see that it's the $7.95 million. And so, like I said, the Niners freed up $5.6 million. So, if you do the math, it looks like the Niners are only spending about almost $3 million for a player just this one particular year. And then you can see the potential out for the San Francisco 49ers in 2026 with zero dead cap, right? Like, that's crazy. Like, so it's a win-win for the Niners, in my opinion, in getting a player of the caliber of a Bryce Huff. And we're going to talk a little bit more about Bryce Huff, but I wanted you guys to see like how the money's going to kind of work for the San Francisco 49ers. So this is kind of a good situation. It's kind of like they're getting them on a deal that is done in 2026, 2027 with the voided year out there. But for the 49ers, the question is, what will he be able to do for this team this year? So that's just a little quick money breakdown. He got his money in free agency from Philly. He's on the books for this year. The Niners traded for him. The Niners are responsible for the 795, and now the Niners can take some of this cap space money that they got post June 1st cuts, you know what I'm saying? And they can go ahead and alleviate that money, allocate the money to where it needs to be. All right. So that's kind of like a win for the Niners. So here are the rest of the off-season dates. All right, just up until minicamp, so up to minicamp, right? And then we'll get into when training camp kicks off in July. But OTAs, we got June 2nd through the 3rd, so today and tomorrow, and then June 5th, all right? So today, tomorrow, June 5th, and then June 10th through 11th will be the mandatory mini camp for the San Francisco 49ers, and that's probably when you're going to see Trent Williams show up. So let's talk about mini camp as of right now. Got a bunch of players that are just standing out. It's really good to watch these rookies get out there and ball out. I think some of the veterans are even wowed by what they're seeing from some of the rookies. Christian McCaffrey, slow. We heard that going on last week. And I watched the clips over and over again. And again, these are clips without defenses pressing them, defending. But just to see the step, the quick first step, I didn't see any slowness to Christian McCaffrey, but I'm also not there like measuring like how quick he gets out of the break, how quick does he make that first cut. Like I don't do that. That ain't my job. I just know what I see with my eyes. Now for those that do see slowness, toodles, I guess, cool, whatever. But I know I didn't see it, so I don't really feel like he's slowing down. And again, like I said, this is OTAs. These are organized team activities. There is no hitting. There's none of that stuff. Can it be a possibility that he might have lost the step? Absolutely. I think there's a possibility to leave that out there. We don't know until he actually is playing literally in a game. I'm not basing anything until I see Christian McCaffrey playing a game. That's just me, my interpretation. When I see him in a game, and if I see that he's a little bit slower, then maybe I'll attest to that. Last year it was Deebo Samuel. I feel like some of us are kind of alluding to maybe Christian McCaffrey, a little bit older, coming off the Achilles. Maybe that might be a reason why they're going to say that he's slow off the top. But I just don't feel how you can tell a player is being slow, you know what I'm saying, just from practice without really any contact going on. So that kind of like, whatever. Me. Mike says he looks twitchy. I heard he didn't open it up full, but what do you think? No, I didn't get any twitchiness. You gotta show it to me again. I didn't get any twitchiness from what I saw. Maybe I didn't see what you saw, so you gotta show me what you saw. But again, these are just him taking handoffs and doing running back drills. What are we talking about? So I don't see any twitchiness from him. DeMarcus says CMC's losing a step is still dangerous. CMC because he can still be deadly in the pass game. Look, again, I don't see it. I don't see CMC losing the step. If you see it, cool. Maybe you could point it out to me. Just like Mike did over on Facebook, said he was a little twitchy. I didn't get that though. Because I trust. Maybe, and if he was twitchy, that's fine. Right? I think I'm more worried about in a game situation. If he's twitchy now, I don't feel like he'll be twitchy in a game situation because it's game and now it's full blown CMC. So maybe he's just being precautious. Maybe. I don't know. But he could be twitchy. He could be slower. He could be all of those things. You know what I'm saying? I just didn't see it. That's all I'm saying. That's just me. Oh, twitchy in a good way. Oh, okay. All right, cool beans. All right, Filthy says, saw a clip of him running side from the side, and even at 90%, he looked faster. Yeah, so when we use the word slow, that's what was throwing me off because I'm trying to figure out where is he slower. I didn't see that. You get what I'm saying? So I agree with you guys are saying you making some good points out there in the live chat, man. Appreciate you guys. You guys can get the air horn for that. You know what I'm saying? Things out. What's going on, baby? So look, Jack said some people are definitely reaching. Look, at the end of the day, I don't see him losing a step. But it's like, look, even if he did lose a step, as long as the vision is there and he's making the right reads and the right cuts, that's the only thing that matters for me. That's why I said I'll wait until the game is played because that's where we need Christian McCaffrey. It's about his vision. It's about him making the right read outside the tackle, inside the tackle, cutting up that's what it is. That's what makes Christian McCaffrey is a 4-4 guy. He's kind of like one of the slower 4-4 guys. Like he's got the quick burst, but that long speed, he kind of runs out of gas, right? I've seen Christian McCaffrey get chased down a couple times. So I'm just saying that I think Christian McCaffrey is going to be just fine. You heard Kyle Shanahan says that he looks like he looks good. I'm just gonna put it out. I'm paraphrase it or whatever. Like he looks as good as he can be, I guess, or he is as healthy as can be. I think that's the quote. So yeah, whatever that means. But if he's practicing and he's there, he's healthy. That's the only thing that matters. So if he's slowing down, cool beans. We won't. I just don't think we'll find out though. As far as Trent Williams, no show. What's new? I'm now look, there are the contract situations about Trent Williams out there, and since I'm on Spot Rack right now, let me go ahead and log in to my Spot Rack so I can get the information that I need. But I do believe Trent doesn't have any guarantees this year. I believe last year he got his 2025 salary guaranteed. We kind of know how that went out. And so now 2024 salary guaranteed. And so we know how that went out. He got injured, all that good stuff. And I'm just trying to see how much of the guaranteed money that he still has available for 2025, 26. So look, the Niners, this could be, I just feel like this is OTAs. Let's have this conversation more about Trent Williams during the mandatory portion of this, like when minicamp kicks off. And if he doesn't show then, still, I'm not really worried. I know Trent's going to be working out. I know Trent's going to be getting his mind right. I know Trent does his thing in Texas. So at the end of the day, I kind of like trust Trent. I mean, the dude is 36 years old, at 37 years old. I mean, at this point, you just trust that he knows what he needs to do for his body. And I think once training camp starts, I think the Niners will work out. If this is about contracts, I think the Niners will find a way to work out to where his guaranteed salary is. And I know a lot of people don't like this. I know a lot of people feel like if you sign the contract, you play out the contract. But I don't think people understand that when you sign a contract, it's not the full, like you're playing out that really the full guarantees. And once your guarantees run out, it makes the contract kind of like in favor of the team, because God forbid anything happen to a player, then the player doesn't get anything. So I think my mindset is like, if this is a guaranteed type of thing to where he's looking for guarantees for the next season, next couple of seasons, if that's so, or whatever, because the 49ers like to work outs in their contracts. This could be the drama that the 49er faithful were hoping they can escape. But I will say this. I think the San Francisco 49ers front office general manager John Lynch is not about drama this season. And if this is something about guarantees, they're going to make sure if Trent is healthy here mentally and physically, they're going to make sure he gets his guarantees, and Trent Williams will be ready to go. So I think this is coming down to something contractually with his guarantees. That's just my personal opinion. Don't slay me for it. Also, it's OTAs. I mean, yeah, would I like Trent to be there? Absolutely. Do I expect him to be there? I don't. I really don't. I really don't expect any of these veterans to be there, but I love the fact that they're there ready to get to know all these youngings. Like that I love. I do. I applaud the vets that show up. And I'm not discrediting any of the veterans that aren't there. I'm just not. I mean, it's OTAs. Really, I like the fact that the young players are getting the reps, getting the opportunities, getting these phases and kicking off and learning the installments offensively, learning what the defense is all about, learning how to play fast, learning how to play to the whistle, learning how to play through the whistle, learning how to play to the ball. Like, I like that we're getting that. That's why I like that we went a lot younger this year. And so you're going to get the fired up guys. But the fact that what I really love is that I think the guys that are young are so fired up that the older vets are like, oh, we going to let these young guys know what we about. So it's good. It's all good to me. It's all good. So if you're worried about Trent Williams not showing up, I understand. My job is to alleviate some of the worry. I don't think it's a big deal. At the end of the day, if he says he wants to play football, I think John Lynch is definitely going to find a way to make sure that Trent Williams is a part of this regime with his guarantees moving forward over the next couple of years of his contract. That's just my take on it. Let's talk about some of these rookies: Mykel Williams, Nick Martin, Jordan Watkins. Like, these guys are literally doing what they need to do to stand out. My rookies, we drafted 11 players, right? And right now, you got Nick Martin, who is literally flying around to the ball. You got Mykel Williams, who is showing like Greek god strength. Okay, like I'm loving it. And you got Jordan Watkins that looks like he's a number one wide receiver. And, we're talking first rounder, Mykel Williams, right? You get a third rounder and Nick Martin, which we were all a little like worried Well, I was like, I thought it was kind of a reach because he didn't have much of a 2024 season due to injury. But I'm not the scout of the team, right? and then, and then we drafted Jordan Watkins in the fourth round, and it was just kind of like, oh snap! Like we drafted a wide receiver that wasn't even the main receiver in Ole Miss in round four, but man, he looks really good at running like those routes. Did you see the whip route? Oh man, I was like, sugar, huh? Let's go! Like that whip route, believe it or not. Now he's the fastest receiver on the team. I think he ran a 4.37. I think Jacob Collins like a 4.39, and Ricky Pearsall's a 4.41. So I'm looking at him. I'm like, yo, like he it's not as crisp as the Brandon I excuse me, it's not as polished as Brandon's whip routes, but I like the whip route that I saw from the young kid. That's a tough route. That's a tough route. It's a timing route. It's movement. And you gotta catch the ball, right? Love what I'm seeing from Jordan Watkins. Love what I'm hearing about Nick Martin just flying around to the ball, man, just being what he needs to be out there. I feel like he's just going to bring a lot of thunder to the San Francisco's defense. And then I actually really do love our first round pick. I don't know if I talk about Mykel Williams enough, but I think we're underestimating his ability to rush the passer. I think we're underestimating his ability to rush the passer. Filthy says, I'm just looking at some of the comments. Like Michael's motor trying to chase down CMC in the end zone. Listen, the kid is ready to play professional football. The kid is ready to play. 49ers throwback told me not to sleep on Nick Martin. Never slept on him. Never slept on him. When I did my linebacking breakdowns, he just wasn't one of those top guys that I had going in the third round. He was one of the players that I felt like the Niners would be interested in. I've talked about it on just about every draft show. I mock drafted him in just about every mock draft, but I also mock drafted him in rounds, 5 and 7. And I saw him available in 7. So in my mind, I'm like, he's gonna probably be available in the 7th round for the Niners. Either way, they got their guy. Robert Saleh, I trust it. So I'm not sleeping on him. I'm definitely not sleeping on him. Big Daddy, are you going to do the Malin challenge against others? I know we do simulations. Yo, I'm trying to figure out how to do more Madden content where I can play maybe a fan from the other team every week. You know what I'm saying? That might be fun. I definitely still gonna keep the simulations going because I kind of like to see how the computer does us dirty. So I'm working on it, man. If I could get 17 or 16 different, 17 different, fans or whatever or whatnot, I'll definitely do it. You know what I'm saying? That could be fun actually. Now that I think about it. You know what I mean? That could be fun. Felicia, what's going on? I wanted to show you some love. I love my members out there. Appreciate you 100%. Thank you so much. But yeah, so like I definitely like what we're getting from the rookies at mini camp. I mean at OTAs, and it's still going on. Like it's still going on. Like you know what I mean? And this is what we need. This is what we need. Now I know people are probably alarmed about the injuries and stuff like that. Again, I don't think that the injuries are detrimental to the Niners. I don't think they're going to be detrimental. The procedure to Jair Brown, that came out of nowhere though. I'm not gonna lie. I didn't expect that, but listen, he's getting a little procedure done. He got a little procedure done. I believe on his ankle. He's gonna be fine though. So he's gonna be fine. But again, we also didn't know about Malik Mustafa's ACL. Like we didn't know about that either. So it's funny, right? Because the Niners knew, and now it makes sense why they went heavy on the safety position, the DBs like the Pennox, the Richie Grants. Why they signed some of those dudes in free agency, place gapping some of the young players that are probably going to be dealing with some injury situations going into next season. So it kind of starts to unveil now to us, like, oh, okay. All right, that's why they went that route, right? We know Marquise Siegel is coming off of his injury, situation, and he won't be available to training camp. So again, like I said, I don't think the injuries are anything severe that are going to hinder the 49ers moving forward. We know about the one major injury that we're dealing with from a player. We know players that are coming back from injuries. And so, yeah, we'll keep that stuff monitored. You know what I'm saying? We'll keep it monitored. And as far as the Niners making moves, look, we talked about linebacker Chaz Surratt. They signed him last week. They signed Thomas Morstead, the punter. They released Mitch Wishnowsky. They waived linebacker Deshaun White, and that's Chaz Surratt's taking his spot. Thomas Morstead's taking Mitch Wishnowski's spot, and then they traded for Bryce Huff. So let's talk a little bit more about Bryce Huff, just really quickly, because I know a lot of people feel like he's not going to be good for the 49ers. Now, on my breaking news show, I stated that I felt like the Eagles utilized him improperly. I don't want to say wrong, but I thought the scheme was a little different than the 4-3, wide 9, go get him type of scheme. You got space, go get the quarterback. It's a little different. Coming from the Jets, they ran the 4-3, wide 9 defense. Henceforth, why he succeeded or excelled, I guess, in Robert Saleh's defense. Henceforth, Robert Saleh is the defensive coordinator of the San Francisco 49ers. Therefore, he went and got his guy. All right. Now, let's just take a look at what he did defensively for those that like stats. All right. Just look at it. Okay. So you go back to his rookie season. He played 14 games. He had 2 sacks that year. You can see he had 16 tackles, 4 quarterback hits, 4 tackles for a loss. 2021, he played in less games. So he played in 9 games. So he went from outside linebacker to right defensive end. I want to make sure that I, kind of talk about that a little bit, right? Played in 9 games. He started in 7 of those 9 games. 2 sacks, 14 total tackles. He had 1 tackle for a loss, 8 hits. And then 2022, you can see he switched to the end. Again, defensive end, he played on both sides, so he wasn't specifically on the right side. Again, 14 games he played in. You can see he had the pass deflection and a forced fumble that year, 3.5 sacks. So he kind of improved. His tackles went down a little bit, but he became more of a pass rusher. You can see those two tackles for a loss, those 10 quarterback hits, right? That's key. And then it was contract year where he kind of played off-ball linebacker a little bit. All right, which is good. So now you're getting a versatile guy. You got a guy that could play with his hand in the dirt, guy that could play a little off ball, standing up. All right, and I like that. Ready? Outside dude, 2025 contract year. He played in 17 games, as you can see, and 1 pass deflection, 10 sacks. His first career high double-digit sacks, 29 tackles, 10 tackles for a loss, and this man hit that quarterback 21 times. And in other words, he made his present felt in 2023, and then he became a free agent. The Jets weren't re-signing him. He signed with the Philadelphia Eagles 3-year deal. We talked about his contract, and you can see they use him as a defensive end. He was more of a rotative piece for them. Played in 12 games. Did have a forced fumble that year. Sack production way down from 10 to 2.5, which is kind of like his average. So I think the question about Bryce Huff is, was the 2023 season an anomaly, right? Like, was it the outlier? Was it his high, or was it produced to where he's going to play better under a guy like Robert Saleh? And then people are probably questioning the simple fact, well, then why didn't he do that 2020, 21, 22 under Robert Saleh? And so, like, that's where, like, a lot of the question marks are going to come in. Now, I think, personally, he was utilizing properly in Philly. And it's funny because I stated that, and then a former defensive end of the Philadelphia Eagles, I believe he's going to retire, Brandon Graham. I think he is retired. He should retire. Brandon Graham spoke about it on the Ross
What
Report.
the Jets it was just that defense, man. I know what it's like playing in that 4-3 wide nine. Go get it. Every play, it's always stop the run on the way to the quarterback. That's the slogan and that type of defense. So that's what it's all. I feel like it's all scheme. I mean, I've seen different guys flourish in different systems, and then you see them get in another system. It's different. And what they asked of them this year, it just wasn't a great marriage, I would say, because I know Huff can rush. I see him doing all that, but sometimes it's just different with the type of scheme and what people ask of you and they want you to be able to do. And maybe it just wasn't that for Vic Fangio or I mean, you don't really know. I mean, I just know that he a baller, man, and he hopefully for him, I want it to be a win-win for the team and win for him. But in this case, I want him to be happy, go out if it's here or somebody somewhere else, I want him to be able to go show what he can these prime years for him.
So Brandon Graham, go blue. Got to put that out there. Super Bowl champion. This is his teammate. You know what I'm saying? So like, yeah, you can listen to people that analyze football film. You can listen to all those people. You can listen to people like me. You can listen to whoever you want. Now you got a teammate really coming out saying, "Yeah, I already know what this kid could do. Like, he just didn't fit here." I'm paraphrasing what he said, but he said it was scheme. Like from the jump, he was like, "Yo, the scheme. He just didn't fit the scheme." He also said it was a bad marriage between like him fitting the new scheme. So yeah, like that's key. So now he's going back to the person where in the scheme, in the fit, Robert Saleh, where he had his best career high year. All right. Now he's a little bit older. He'll be 27 going into this season, right? He's 26 right now, so he'll be 27. But at the end of the day, this kid knows how to do one thing really well, and that's rush the passer. Now, my brother Callie says, "Yo, you wanted a Mike Green type of player, you got him." Here's what I like a little bit more about him than Mike Green. This kid doesn't take plays off. I don't see him taking plays off. I see the motor consistently running, and so yes, I do feel like in this trade we got the D Ford. I feel like that's the key to victory. Like when the Niners in 2019, when you go back to that year, I felt like that 2019 defense was probably one of the best defenses we seen from the 49ers like in my lifetime. It wasn't the best, but it was one of the best. I want to make sure I make that clear. I thought the 1994 defense was uncanny, like number one, and then you could go to 2012. But that 2019 defense, you had Nick Bosa on a rookie season, and you had a one leg wing D4 that he was so good that his presence alone on the football team made the 49ers defense that much better. Plus, they had the interior pass rushers. You had DeForest Buckner, Eric Armstead could move inside, outside. I thought the rotation was good as far as the defense on the rotation. So, look, I thought that defense was stellar. The only thing that defense couldn't do was close out and secure a Super Bowl victory. That's the only thing. So now you get Robert Saleh back with that defense. A lot of those players are gone. You got new players playing different roles, but he does have the key pieces. And what he needed was he needed that guy out on the edge that I know I can go. It's like having remember you have a dog and you be like sick him. Like that's what we need. And I'm glad we were able to trade for one. I thought we would draft a guy that can do some of those things. Kind of like I wanted Josiah Stewart out of Michigan. I felt like he could beat the same, a little shorter than Huff, but kind of like that same frame, same type of speed out there on the edge. Doesn't really run fast 40 times, but plays faster than they run. Bryce Huff is going to be a freaking menace for the 49ers. Like, he's literally going to be a menace to these other teams because he's going to be utilized in the role where he fits to go get the quarterback. Like, that's the key. Like, don't make him something that he's not. You drafted, and let's talk about the pass rush, all right? The 49ers literally drafted, right, a guy that is a mountain on the edge. And not only is he a mountain on setting out there on the outside, his main characteristic is his ability to set the edge. We said that the things he needed to work on was going to be developing the pass rushing moves. I'm talking about Mykel Williams, developing the pass rushing moves. I also stated that when we drafted Mykel Williams, I did not like the way that Georgia utilized him. They didn't utilize him just as a defensive end. They moved him around. They did all these kind of different things for him to where I felt like he never got an opportunity to set in. And we all know how that Kirby's defense is. Like, they're moving parts. Kind of like the Philadelphia Eagles defense, moving parts. Listen, come out of this play, going on next 3 plays. It's weird. It's hard to build any type of consistency. We also know Mykel Williams played on an injury all season long. So I'm saying that, look, they addressed the edge setter in the draft. And I don't care what those top rankings, you know, edge rushers. I like them, but I don't care if they got Nick Bosa 7 or 8. Good. Because now Nick Bosa is going to come out there and punch everybody in the face. I want to see some smacks, some punches, some Mike Tyson knockouts from Nick Bosa. Because Robert Saleh remembered 2019, and his defense was never the same once he lost D Ford. Nick Bosa, yeah, he had that anomaly defensive player of the year season because he got hurt the next year. So he was out for the ACL injury. And then, yeah, he did win defensive player of the year. But my point is, I think Robert Saleh already understood I need more from my guy, Nick Bosa. I already know he's a monster out there. And so let's get him some assistance. They drafted an edge setter where they can kind of like utilize Mykel on first, second down or whatever. And now they got a guy, which they traded for him, Bryce Huff, and they'll be able to rush the passer on these third and long situations, things like that. Kind of like how the Niners had Leonard Floyd last year. He's simply replacing the Leonard Floyd role, basically. And Leonard Floyd had to play a lot more downs because we lost a lot of depth at the defensive edge position. So below, I have the 49ers 2025 pass rush. And if you guys got any questions, especially if you guys are members, go ahead and put them in the chat because now I'm looking at it. I can go ahead and address it. But let's go with Nick Bosa, Bryce Huff, Yatora Gross-Matos, Jonathan Garvin, Mykel Williams, Sam Okwuegbunam, Robert Bill Jr., Taron Jackson, and Sebastian Valdez, the undrafted free agent. This is the San Francisco 49ers pass rush of 2025 as of now. Now, if you guys are members of my Patreon, I have the depth chart. It is updated. The only person I don't have a number for right now, obviously, is Bryce Huff. I don't know what his number is going to be, but it's updated. And all you got to do is go to patreon.com/the Breezie, and you guys can subscribe for that $1 tier, and you'll be able to submit your email. Click on the link, submit your email, and I will open it up and grant you access to the data, all right, and of the depth chart and all the other 49ers data that I generate. Anytime I make a data chart of an Excel sheet, you guys will get that if you're Patreon members. But yes, so this is our pass rush. Nick Bosa, Bryce Huff, Yatora Gross-Matos. Speaking of that, congratulations. Let's give him a round of applause. His family just welcomed in a new baby. This is why he wasn't at OTAs. The pictures are floating around out there on the internet, so congratulations to your healthy child. And welcome. We got another little 49er faithful to welcome. So that's awesome. Congratulations. So Jonathan Garvin, Mykel Williams. Now they re-signed Jonathan Garvin. We drafted Mykel Williams. I want to know from you guys, like, out of this group, right? Who's Mr. Brightside, right? Who's Mr. Brightside? Now I think we know what to expect from Nick Bosa. I would say I think we know what to expect from Bryce Huff. We already put Huff in a role. But let's talk about Gross-Matos. Let's talk about Jonathan Garvin. This guy they brought back. They liked him. Sam Okwuegbunam. Let's talk about him. Robert Bill Jr. Is this the year he develops? Sebastian Valdez. Can he actually crack the 53-man roster? Will he stand out enough? But who is Mr. Brightside to you? Put it in the live chat right now. I can't wait to see how this is going to go out. And when I see the names, I'll go ahead and talk a little bit about these guys. All right. Now, my man Boats in the building. What's going on, Boats? His Matos might get cut in camp. Contract salary is too high. Yeah, that's a possibility. I don't think they're going to cut a guy that they're high on in the last year of the deal. Yes, you could be right. Um, but he didn't really give the Niners what they needed in year one due to injury. He's now full of health. I don't see anybody literally beating him as a as a defensive end. Like, all right, you add Bryce Huff. You know Michael Williams is gonna be a menace out there, but I feel like he's the top depth piece. So I feel like it's gonna be hard to walk away with it. But the money is high. Like I'm not gonna lie. JP Hellahart says Sam Okwanu. Look, he was my favorite. I think he was one of my favorite defensive linemen last year. I love his tenacity. I love his motor. I love his ability. I see he could be a Mr. Brightside candidate for the 49ers, and they brought him back as well. These are guys that they wanted in here. Jonathan Garvin, Sam Okwano. So Brightside it is. These guys might actually be what the San Francisco 49ers need in high energy, high motor, defensive end, rotative pieces. Now, everybody can't make the daggone roster, right? Like, you know what I'm saying? Peachy's in the building. She says, good morning, Breezy, and everyone. Good morning to you, Peachy, as well. Welcome to the show. Welcome to the show. All right. Big Daddy Niners, he says Sebastian Valdez, the undrafted rookie from Washington, could be a bright side. I heard he had a great rookie mini camp. Not hearing too much from him now. It's hard to really measure the defensive players. You're basing them off of energy right now, right? That's all. It's energy, how hard, how power. You're basing them off of energy and power because they're not doing anything. Right? They're not winning. They're not going one on. They're not going one on one with the offensive lineman. Blah 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 blah. So right now you're watching them hit the sled. How powerful they pushing the sled back. You're watching their rip moves and things like that. But other than that, you want to see, do these guys have motors? It could be Sebastian Valdez as well. You know what I'm saying? And again, we're talking about the edge rushers. All right. So Jax Knox says CJ West said he hate quarterbacks, so hopefully he get his chance. I would love to see if the 49ers use him on the pass rushing and the pass rushing set. I know he's big and he's able to stop the run, but I would love to see CJ West out there. I feel like, and we're not talking really much about the interior guys. We'll do that for another show, but I do like the fact that maybe CJ West, because he does like to get to the quarterback, even though his stats didn't show that, he has the motor. That's the motor I'm talking about. That motor does not turn off. It's like it just consistently runs off of high oil, high octane gas, whatever you need, it's there for him. I really hope he becomes part of the 49ers special pass rushing package. You know what I'm saying? I don't see him lining up on the outside, but from an inside gap defender, potentially this could be a guy that could be really good in the pass rush. You know what I'm saying? Peachy says that Saquon is on the Madden cover. I'm gonna just say yes. Thank you. Yes. And let's just see. Right? We're gonna see. We're gonna see. I'm gonna leave it at that. We're gonna see. Kylie says I think Bill Jr. gets cut. Yeah, he could be the odd man out. Just looking at the line down there, I like Boats says we probably can cut gross models because of money, but I think Taryn Jackson is more of a vet. I want to, you know what? I'm not through with Robert Bill Jr. because he has the speed too. He's a speedy guy. Wasn't he a 4.5 guy? What did Robert Bill Jr. run in the 40? I can't remember. Robert Bill Jr. 40 time. I thought he was a fast dude. 4.48, sub 4.5. Man, I don't want to cut that. But that right there, needs to be included in the NASCAR package. I don't know why the Niners. He struggled on special teams, but that could have been special teams coordinating. So maybe he'll be better. But I don't know why. You know what it is? We're not. Maybe we were in a lot of those third and long situations, to where he could just peel back and go get it, or maybe Robert Bill struggled in understanding the concepts of the wide nine, maybe the teachings of it for him. But now he's gonna get a great teacher. So he does seem like to be the odd man out. Like, you know what I'm saying? He does seem like to be the odd man out. And we'll see what happens. But I definitely like that the 49ers added to their pass rush. I wasn't nervous about the pass rush. I was just like, well, who gonna be that guy that they can literally just rush? Like, who's gonna be that guy? And I was kind of like signaling out. I said it needed to be Robert Bill Jr. But when you bring in a guy from, when you bring in a guy like Bryce Huff, who was a lot slower in his 40 time, if I'm not mistaken, but at the end of the day, he definitely proved he can do it in the right scheme. If he's going to the right scheme, that could be a problem for the league for sure. He ran a 4.67, I believe, is what he ran. 4.67. But he's out. Yeah, listen, he got the speed. I'm digging him on the speed. You know what I'm saying? All right, I'm definitely digging him on the speed. But I think our pass rush, all right, let's play a quick game before we get up out of here. How many sacks did we have last year? Let me see if I could total that up real quick. I don't know how many sacks did the 49ers defense have in 2020, 2024. So let's see if I could get that. Stats, defense, Niners, 2024. All right, so Niners, defense. Let's see how many sacks we had. So we had a total of 40. That's it? Ugh. So we have 41 sacks in 2024. 41 sacks. So in 2025, with the new regime of the pass rush, all right, with the new regime of the pass rush, are we going to be over? He said it felt like 3 sacks. Are we going to be over 40 or under 40? So the number is 40. We're going to be over 40 or under 40 on sacks, period. Not just from the pass rush. This is going to include blitzing, defensive tackles, all that type of stuff. So I'm just curious to know. We're going to be over 40 or under 40. Let's see what you guys think. Boat says over 40. Big Daddy Niner says over 40. Jack says I see 100 sacks. Damn, that's a lot of sacks. Pause. That's a lot of sacks. 49er just says over. Yeah, I mean 41 was the number. Yuck. That was it. It did seem like 3 sacks though. I'm not gonna lie. Enough sacks to go 17-0. Whatever it is, listen. Peachy says over. I'm all about the Niners getting set. I can live with pressures, but damn it, I'm tired of being disruptors and not being finishers. My man Ghost says Sorensen told me all I needed to know when he tried to blanket the best. Bro, yeah, yep. Faisal says over. Thomas is over. Anthony says 60 plus. I feel like that's definitely realistic. I feel like that's where the Niners belong in that category. And I think this is a year where Nick Bosa might end up close to 20 sacks this year. I'm just putting that out there. You know what I'm saying? Justin says over. And I agree. I just wanted to know if we were on the same page, because 41 is like a low bar number. The pressures were there, though. I mean, if I told you how many pressures we had 255 pressures. That's pretty damn good. 255 pressures, but damn, only 41 of them junks were sacks. A lot of them were hurries, and the hurries weren't negative. They were completed passes, or some were incomplete. So the Niners defense got to figure out a better way at finishing. That's what they got to do. Peachy says, what is it we always say, Breezy? Yes, got to. Hands down. Got to bring them down. Got to get to them because it did. Look, if you get a sack, man, the defense, the play you could dial up, doesn't mean you play loose on the next down. It just means you try to do it again. Yeah, you just do it again. And a lot of goes into getting the sacks. It starts up front. It also has to have a good coverage back there. You know what I mean? So it's going to be great. Guys, I appreciate you guys for tuning in to the live show, man. It's always a pleasure to have you guys live with me every single Monday. I will be getting back to regular schedule soon. All right, so be on the lookout for that. Definitely going to keep the Monday shows as consistent as possible. The time may fluctuate every now and then. I ran this morning, and I was like, no gym. My run, I'm going to run 6 miles, boom, bang it out. I'm Gucci. That's my workout for today. Now I got to eat right. But I appreciate you guys, man. Love y'all. Keep it faithful to the Bay always. And look, the Niners, this is a year where they're not rebuilding. They just showed you how they retooled in a different way. And I think retooling is the key. Sometimes you just got to go out and buy different, tools, right? And you got to get different things to measure how to make those tools work. They got the coaches, they got the players, and now we just need to see it come to fruition. What's going to be the game plan of 2025 from Kyle Shanahan and his coaches? Well, we'll stick around to find out. But you guys have been great. Appreciate you. Don't forget to like the show, subscribe to the show, comment, all that good stuff. Follow me on all the social medias. Don't forget to check me out as well on Apple Podcasts, Spotify as well. And don't forget to support our sponsors over at residency.com. To the next one, man. Keep it faithful to the mother-loving Bay.
What's up, faithful? Thanks for watching. Hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe. And make sure you check out some of the other cool videos.